professor, I will test you in the worst way. Don't bring a scantron, it's pop quizzes all day. Cause of our chemistry, we do biology.
What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement is still moving. Subscribe or die trying. You see the thumbnail. Why single mothers don't get grace. So this morning, I'm having a conversation with my lady, and we're talking about, a myriad of things, but single mothers and grace came into play. She was like, why don't single mothers get grace? I forgot what we were talking about prior to that, but so I explained to her, I said, the issue is people aren't going to give single mothers grace because they say mothers are the first teachers. And if you look in the last 40, 50 years, you can basically say, especially in our community, since a lot of people were raised predominantly in single mother households, that mothers didn't teach good morals and good ethics. And the issue with that is now you see people in their 20s, 30s, 40s who don't have good morals and good ethics. And they got it from their mother. But 9 times out of 10, they'll use the excuse, my father wasn't there. And it doesn't fly after a certain amount of time. So single mothers don't get grace. Now, the other thing that's involved in this is this. You have single mothers who were taught feminism, whether they do it consciously or subconsciously. And they might be rebellious from 15 to 30. And and instead of saying, you know what, I need to chill that out, they double down. This is what I mean. You got single mothers who have multiple kids by multiple men. And the first time they had a kid, it's like, okay, I was young and making mistakes. And then you did it again. And then you did it again. And then you turn around and you're 30, 32, 35, and you're going, you know what? I was young and I was silly. And it's like, no, you've been like this from 15 to 30. Like, no, no. You don't get I'm turning over a new leaf. I'm a born, because you played out, you got pregnant and became a born again virgin and got pregnant again. So say from 15 to 30, you were telling the world, I don't need no man, man don't need this, I'm the mother and the father. And this mindset brewed, and I'm using it, 15 to 20, 20 to 25. So that's a 10-year stretch, right? And then all of a sudden you go, you know what? I was tripping. But you've pushed away so many people along the way that now all of a sudden you want them to come give you grace. And here's the issue. You didn't give anybody else grace. See, when you were done using people, you out of here. When you were done with people, you out of here. When you don't feel like it no more, you out of here. So then society returns that and kind of like, no, you out of here. And then you turn around and go, well, how come you can't forgive me and give me a little grace for what I did in the past? And it's like, look, even if I forgave you and I gave you grace, I don't want to be nowhere near you. I don't trust you and I don't like you. And the same thing goes with that stretch of ladies saying things like, excuse me, I was forced to be this way. I was forced into the masculine role, and I don't know how to calm it down. And it's like they run that stretch from teenagers when they don't even take care of themselves to adults. And then it becomes an issue because people look at it like you wasn't forced to quote unquote be masculine. You chose to be that. And then now you're tired. Now you don't feel like it anymore. Now you want a man to pick up and pick up where you left off because you don't feel like it no more. And you're a mother, it's like, no. So how come you can't get any grace? It's because you signed up for this stuff and now you don't want to see it all the way through. And you doubled and tripled down on these ideologies that were counterproductive, and selfish and self-centered, even as a parent. Y'all want grace. you know, you single mothers will alienate a father and the father's family for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And then when the kid, and because you taught the kid bad, then you need to go to your dad and he'll fix it. Which for the most part says you shouldn't have been in charge in the first place. Because if somebody could fix what you took 5, 10, 15, 20 years to mess up in a short amount of time, that means you're a complete utter screw up. Now, the other thing about this, about why single mothers don't get grace, when I say they don't teach work ethic, these kids are coming out with lazy. You don't have a work ethic. These kids are coming out immoral. Like, everything counts. To use a person, to get over on a person, to manipulate a person, all that's fair game. And then these same kids, when dealing with life and reality, when people do those very same things to them, all of a sudden those kids get holier than thou and become saints and Christians, and no weapon formed against me shall prosper kind of people. And people are like, where did you get that from? Like, you can't do dirt and get heaven. Where did you get this from? And 9 times out of 10, they got it from mom, because that's how she rolls. So then people go, you know what? Oh, I was young and I was making mistakes, and there's no handbook to parenting. I get that. But there is a handbook to morals. And you didn't follow that handbook. There's a handbook to a good work ethic. You didn't follow that handbook. So your kid became a scammer because you're a scammer. Your kid became a user because you're a user. Your kid became a liar because you're a liar. So, and now when you throw this kid out to the wolves and fend for themselves, the kid's delusional. And that's what you see a lot of young adults who are delusional, whose first time dealing with adult reality is when they're adults. And then they lose their minds. So a lot of this, in my opinion, comes from that dynamic of, you can't get these single mothers grace because they created a situation that they didn't want to fix, because they kept taking shortcuts as parents. But tell me what you think. Like, share, subscribe, or die. Try and catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
You ever been at the top of the universe? I'm gonna say it again.